Sneeze
with James Whittingham.
And we're back for a third day in a row. 3 days in a row for Sneeze with me, Big Jim Whittingham. How are you? I'm fine. Everything is fully, mostly functioning, and we are here continuing the podcast that will evolve over time. And yes, I've been podcasting for, 18 years on and off. I'm still around, still podcasting. James Pod fans, I know pretty much the only people listening to this podcast are old James Pod fans from way back when podcasts were exactly as they are today, except less popular. On the wheel, we have this week the same lineup as we've had all 3 shows. Urine, geography, advice, sneeze, where I inhale pepper, end the podcast prematurely, opinion, advice, phobias, disease, and once again, advice. So you can send me your questions on basically anything, and I will give you advice. Of course, I'll give you advice. A lot of people know me for my advice. My advice to you is to write in and ask me for advice on anything, on any matter, of course, and people have. So, thank you. Let's give the wheel a spin and start today's show, shall we? Where's it going to land? Nobody knows except the wheel, and it's going to land on opinion, I think. Or is it going to keep going? No, it's going to stop on opinion. So what is my opinion on something? We turn to the big fat computer, the James Sneeze computer, and generate a random thing to talk about. A random subject matter, paper boys. Which is sexist because, it's been for some time more paper girls than paper boys, I think, at least in my neighborhood. And even in my mom's neighborhood when I was growing up, there was a lot of paper girls. But we didn't call them paper boys. I was a paper boy once. It was horrible. I took over from a guy named Billy. I'm sure he's in prison or operating heavy equipment by now. Or dead, probably prematurely dead from alcohol poisoning and smoking. That was my neighborhood, pretty much. A lot of alcohol and smoking, but no drugs. We weren't a drug place, which is interesting because my kids' school, a lot of drugs, a lot of machetes and fighting and blood, and yeah, it's a terrible place. But they won't let us send a kid to anywhere else unless he's a Christian, and I didn't raise my kids that way, so there's really nothing I can do. I could educate them at home. I could educate them on this podcast. I don't know. Paperboys, it's a shitty job, paperboys. And it's a job that's gone away. I don't know who does it anymore, right? Basically, they come by in a van and throw paper and plastic out at your front door. And that's that. There's no such thing as paperboys anymore. There's flyer deliverers. We used to, we stuffed flyers down the drain, the grates and the sewer drains. That's what we did to get rid of them. And then collect our money afterwards. Not all the time, but I remember doing that because other people were doing it. And I said, well, I'm not going to be a sucker. They're not delivering their flyers. I mean, they compost, right? They don't clog up the sewer drains. They turn back into nature from whence they came, except for the ink. But all advertisements end up in nature eventually. So I don't really care. I have no guilt. Not really. Spinning the wheel again. What's it going to be? It could be anything. It could be Advice. Dear James, I am 34 years old. Congratulations. You have ovaries. Functioning ovaries, which is something I admire now at my age. And about to have my first baby. My husband and I are thrilled beyond words, so what's the problem? When I told my dad that he is about to become a grandfather, he said, not really, I'm not your father. Oh, gosh. I was devastated when he told me that and immediately confronted my mother. And she said, your dad doesn't know what he's talking about. My father says your mom knows the truth and is lying through her teeth. I don't know what to make of this. I should have a paternity test done to settle this once and for all. It sounds like mom and dad are having a bit of a fight. Okay? They're having a fight. Of course, it raises doubt as to who your father is. And personally, from everything I know from your father, I don't like him that much. So maybe you should go exploring and find a biological father that you may like more. Randomly speaking, you go into the world and pick basically any man, you may like that man more than your father and say, hey, so do the test. Find out who your father is. And maybe you like him more. If nothing else, it's another, person to send you presents on your birthday and Christmas, right? I wish I had 6 biological fathers. And perhaps I do. Cats, they really mix the sperm up. But yeah, obviously each egg comes from a different father, but wouldn't it be interesting, to be a partial father, to say a woman has sex 6 times in an evening, 6 different men. I've seen videos, it's been done. And but all the sperm mixed together, and wouldn't it be interesting if nature could just sort of combine the best of all the sperm, of all the genes into one? In that case, everyone would have multiple fathers, because you don't want, just some jackass who's like the town drunk to be your dad. You want someone who is a best of, say, a bunch of guys. Even if you had, say, 6 homeless people with mental disorders, you could still find the best traits of them. I mean, one's athletic, one might be good at math, one might be humorous, one might have an exceptional penis. All these people are different. If you can combine them all into one, the best of all of them, a good nose on one person, cheekbone uniformity on another, that would be something. Maybe that's something we can do. Future ovaries will be smart ovaries and can just, welcome a bunch of sperm in, and then pick and choose the right genes from each person. And you have 6, 7 dads, maybe 100. I don't know. That gets technically difficult to have sex with 100 men at the same time, but certainly you could put it in a beaker. You might have blue eyes, black hair, brown eyes, green hair, maybe no hair. Certainly hair is a good thing. I would, nothing against bald people. Well, I mean, you're inferior, but basically it's good to have hair, especially in a northern climate where I live. So yeah, you don't want the bald gene in there. Interesting though, eh? Combining sperm into one super sperm from different partners. Something to think about, scientists. And I know a lot of you people are scientists, so please, let's spin the wheel again. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? It could be anything. It's going past urine. I think it's going past geography. Sneeze where I inhale pepper, and end the podcast. End the podcast prematurely. It's a funny how often, gone. Done. Adios. I'm out of here.
Sneeze. With James Whittingham.
The law says that I must leave now. I will see you next time on Sneeze. Thank you for listening. Sneeze Show at gmail.com for opinions and advice, requests, anything you want to say. Give me a shout. Bye.